stories for you viewers. Firstly, since airstrikes on Mekelle yesterday, Ethiopian government supporters have been criticizing the UN. Ethiopian government supporters, their activists, they are claiming that TDF members, TPLF members at Planet Hotel were using UN's communication equipment. That is why airstrikes were conducted on this hotel by Ethiopian Air Force. Why is that so far? UN has not issued any statement in this regard. Tigray's government is silent too. We'll talk about that. Secondly, yesterday, some Tigray-backed news sources shared figures of the ongoing ENDF offensive. They told the number of ENDF soldiers killed, captured, and wounded. We could not talk about those figures because yesterday was a very busy day. So we'll have a look at these figures too. What do these figures mean? And lastly, Western Tigray, which was relatively quiet, is becoming a busy front now. Since yesterday, fighting is being reported. Where is fighting happening in Western Tigray, which is the main, it's the bone of contention between Tigray and Amhara. Is ENDF trying to push into Western Tigray, or Eritrean forces have launched an offensive from Western Tigray towards Shire, towards the areas to the east of Tekeze? We'll talk about that. Firstly, viewers, airstrikes were conducted yesterday by Ethiopian Air Force on a hotel, Planet Hotel in Mekelle city. Ethiopian government supporters and their activists backed by Ethiopian government, Amharian government, they have been claiming since yesterday that in the hotel there was presence of UN officials. There was presence of TPLF members as well. And hotel was being used as a communication center, command and control center by TPLF members and TDF members. And TDF members were using UN's communication equipment erected on the top of the hotel, and of course in hotel as well. So far, we haven't seen any statement from Tigray government and UN bodies. Was there presence of UN staff in the hotel or not? UN must clarify. If there was presence of UN staff, was UN equipment being used by TPLF members? UN workers are already becoming controversial in Ethiopia. Ethiopia has expelled 7 top UN officials. Why is that when another scandal is unfolding, UN bodies are silent? Tigray government is silent. Tigray government must also clarify. We have been hearing since yesterday that civilians have been killed. Of course, civilians have been killed as well in the strikes. But what about Planet Hotel? Was it being used as command and control center by Tigray Defense Force? Was there presence of UN officials in the hotel or not? So I think both Tigray government and UN bodies, they must clarify their position, because UN workers are becoming more and more controversial. Ethiopian government is accusing them of backing TPLF. They must clarify their position. Secondly, viewers, yesterday some Tigray-backed news sources shared some numbers regarding killed, captured and wounded ENDF soldiers, captured weapons by TDF over the past few days since the start of this new offensive by ENDF in Amhara region. We'll have a look at these figures. How convincing are these figures? Tigray-backed news sources say that on Shifra, Vichale, Gashina and Western fronts, over the past few days, 34,000 soldiers, ENDF Amhara soldiers have been killed, and 36,000 have been wounded. Around 1,400 have been taken prisoner by TDF. It means that around 71,000 ENDF Amhara force soldiers have been put out of action. They have been either killed, captured or wounded. Now, can we verify these claims? There is no mechanism available. No one can verify, no one can confirm or reject these numbers. We can only say that if such a large number of ENDF Amhara soldiers have been killed, captured and taken prisoner, in coming days ENDF will collapse on some fronts at least. We are seeing some partial collapse because ENDF was trying to move towards Voldia. But now fighting is going on near Dassi. So TDF has managed to push front lines from Marsa towards Dassi. Same is the case on other fronts as well. ENDF made some gains on Gashina, but there again we did not see any significant gains. So yes, ENDF has suffered losses, but the numbers will only be confirmed in coming days. If ENDF collapses on different fronts, it means that large number of their soldiers have been killed, captured or wounded. ENDF is not confirming that such a large number of their forces, their soldiers have been killed, captured. So it remains to be seen. For me, I would say that yes, ENDF has suffered losses. Numbers might not be as huge as have been given by Tigray-backed news sources. But yes, ENDF has suffered losses, especially on Voldia front. TDF has managed to take this war to Shifra, to Dassi. Definitely, they have suffered some losses despite having air power, drone power, airstrikes. They could not move towards Voldia. They have suffered losses. We'll talk about these numbers after a few days. If ENDF Amhara forces recover their losses and once again they start challenging Voldia, it means that the numbers shared by TDF were very exaggerated. So it remains to be seen. Coming days will tell us about the accuracy of these numbers. Thirdly, viewers, Western Tigray, which is the main area of dispute between Tigray Defense Force and Amhara forces, bone of contention, it has been largely quiet before the start of this new offensive by ENDF in Amhara region. But now fighting is being reported in Western Tigray. Where is this fighting happening? Some ENDF supporters yesterday claimed that ENDF and especially Eritrean forces, they had launched an offensive towards Shire from Western Tigray. And that is why fighting is being reported there. But what we have learned so far is that area of conflict, it's not to the east of Takeze, it's to the west of Takeze. Fighting is being reported in Kafta Humra and in Volkayat, which are in Western Tigray, which are to the west of Takeze River. It means that TDF is managing to cross Takeze River towards Western Tigray. Yes, it has not made any considerable gains. We cannot confirm anything, but we can only confirm that area of conflict where fighting is being reported, it is inside Kafta Humra and inside Volkayat. That shows that it's not that ENDF and Eritrean forces they are advancing towards Shire. No. either TDF has launched an offensive into Humra and Volkayat, or ENDF tried to move towards ENDF maritime forces. They tried to cross Tigray River towards Shire. They could not, and TDF launched counteroffensive. And now fighting is happening in Kafta, Humra, and in Volkayat. We can only confirm that area of conflict where fighting is being reported, it is Western Tigray, it's Kafta, Humra, it is Volkayat. It's not Shire. It's not to the east of Tigray River. So a new front, let's see what happens. Main front, that is what TDF wants, a corridor with Sudan. TDF wants Western Tigray. Despite its several attempts in the past, TDF could not make inroads into Western Tigray. That's what happens this time. Thanks for watching.